Tonight, the New South Wales Premier warns those who aren't vaccinated will miss out on future freedoms. And South Australia expands its home quarantine trial to all Australians arriving from overseas.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Ruby Kamane begins now.
Good evening. New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian is asking her state to not give up in the fight against COVID, saying there's only a few weeks left until restrictions will ease. But that comes with a warning. If you're not vaccinated, you will miss out on many freedoms.
As Broken Hill lined up at testing stations this morning in response to new exposure sites, this message received from the Premier.
Don't give up, don't be complacent. We know it's been a stretch, we know it's been a struggle, but there's only a few weeks left, really, before we get to that 70% double dose.
For now, though, testing remains our best line of defence. 5 new cases found in Broken Hill to 8 p.m, 5 also in Wilcannia. There's currently 94 active cases in the Far West. Statewide, case numbers remain relatively stable, though 12 people lost their lives in the last reporting period.
10 people were not vaccinated, 1 person had received 1 dose of COVID vaccine and 1 person had received 2 doses.
New South Wales has officially hit the 80% single dose mark, with around 48% fully vaccinated, similar to rates in Broken Hill.
It's 70% double dose, there is no question. Unvaccinated people will not be able to utilise hospitality venues, they won't be allowed into particular events, they won't be allowed into particular indoor settings.
The Deputy Premier saying businesses who allow unvaccinated staff or patrons could be fined or shut down.
No one's going to force a business to open. So this will be on businesses if they choose to open under these conditions. Otherwise, they wait until we open the rest of the economy up, which will be over and above 80%.
Changes at that 80% mark still to be announced. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Meanwhile, the Port Augusta Health Service is dialling up vaccination efforts to urge more community groups to get the jab. The clinic encouraging further uptake by opening up more AstraZeneca and Pfizer vaccination time slots.
Pickawea Health Service expanding its vaccination program to make it as easy as possible for the Port Augusta community to get the jab.
People, when they do decide to have the vaccination, they can come straight up and pretty well get it within, half an hour or so.
Pickawea administering Pfizer vaccinations from 9 till 3 on weekdays to anyone aged 12 years and over. The clinic also providing second doses of AstraZeneca on Mondays.
Our vaccination clinic will be doing all of community, that's Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal clients.
The clinic says added efforts are to encourage specific community groups to be more engaged in the vaccination rollout.
Definitely the elderly and the Aboriginal community as a whole. It's still been a bit of a slow uptake by the Aboriginal communities, but they're the ones that we were really aiming for to get in as soon as possible.
With the announcement of people aged 12 years and older now eligible for the jab, the clinic is encouraging whole families to come in and get vaccinated.
We'd really love to see the walk-ins, just, mum, dad, grandma, granddad, kids. Get everyone vaccinated, because the sooner we do that, the sooner we can go back to normal.
And people can book online at Hot Docs platform, or we have walk-in appointments as well, so people can just walk in.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
In a national first, the state has expanded its home quarantine trial to Australians returning from overseas this week. The international traveller trial will involve around 90 Australian Defence Force personnel who are returning from lower risk countries. Participants must be fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and be able to quarantine in a self-contained home. It comes after the successful trial of the Home Quarantine SA app. It was a sense of deja vu for spectators out at Whalers Way today, hoping to see South Australian space history. Southern Launch's planned rocket launch failing to get off the ground for a second day.
For a second day, the maiden rocket launch from Southern Launch's Whalers Way complex has failed to take off. A large crowd of spectators hoping to witness the sight.
I've loved space and planes since I was young, hence why I'm out here, and I can't wait till I see it.
The crowd camping out early, hoping not to miss any of the action. Coming prepared for breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Me and brother got here about 6 o'clock this morning. Bit of an early start. load up on coffee and a couple of snacks and raring to go for another one.
Eager onlookers were left disappointed as the rocket failed to get off the ground.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed, but they got to make sure everything's, perfect for the launch, obviously.
Southern Launch stating a short time ago, during the final steps prior to liftoff, one of the systems did not come online. Some onlookers taking a pragmatic approach.
That's a part of learning rocket science, isn't it? Like Elon Musk says, you got to make mistakes to make it proper.
The long day proving too much for some. The company says it is assessing the launch vehicle, including the ability to attempt another launch at a later date. Dylan Smith, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, Port Pirie's mayor speaks out against the extended fishing ban restrictions, and Broken Hill's Silver City Cup cancelled for a second year. Welcome back. A man has been arrested following an alleged break-in at Cowell over the weekend. Police say he forced open the door to a house on Lincoln Highway between 12:30 and 12:50 Sunday morning before causing damage inside the property. Investigations leading to the arrest of the 36-year-old on Monday. He has been charged with serious criminal trespass and property damage and will appear in the Whyalla Magistrates Court next month. Port Pirie residents will have to wait at least another year before they can consume fish in local waters. It comes as Primary Industries announce an extension to the fishing ban, put in place after heavy metals were found in sediments in the area.
Local anglers reeling in frustration.
Very disappointing, actually, on the basis of the community. Seems like just another bit of a kick. Seems unwarranted. We'd want to sort of go forwards, not backwards.
The fishing ban was put in place in September last year, following the release of a scientific study which found heavy metal contaminants in local waters. It was expected to be lifted this month, but now local fishers have been slapped with a precautionary extension for the next 12 months.
Our fishing stewards were actually getting a bit excited we could get back into it again, but once this news comes out, no, everyone's going to be a little bit disappointed and upset, I think.
Mayor Leon Stevens says it's disappointing for the Port Pirie community.
We as a community can't understand why things have changed now, after 100 years of the practices that we've been enduring.
The findings so far revealing some species in Zone 1 and 2 are exceeding levels that are considered safe for consumption. PIRS's Fisheries and Aquaculture Executive Director says the extension is necessary for SA Health to complete an in-depth analysis, considering public health implications.
It's really important then that SA Health do the work they need to do, and then once that work's done, they will obviously come out to the community and let them know what the results actually mean.
The restrictions and zones remain unchanged. At this stage, it is uncertain as to whether the restrictions could be lifted sooner. However, Mayor Leon Stevens is hopeful.
Dr Chris Leese is actually looking at a proposal to do by November this year, finish the proposal on what it looks like for heavy metal contaminations, and then also consult through till February, and then we should have a bit of an understanding.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The work of the SA Arid Lands Landscape Board will be guided by a new strategic plan launched today. Sustainable land practices and protecting biodiversity, some of the main priorities listed for the next 5 years.
Carving out a path for the SA Arid Lands Landscape Board. A new set of plans detailing the board's priorities and investments up until 2026 announced today.
This is a great body of work. It's back to basics. It's concentrating on the things that matter when it comes to natural resources management.
The plan outlining water management, sustainable land practices and protecting biodiversity as the main priorities.
The Marshall Liberal government set up these landscape boards to get back to basics, to ensure that the community was engaged in the management of the land.
The 5-year plan built around feedback the board received from district landscape groups, planning workshops and community consultation. With the board understanding it needs to be simple, clear and reflect many voices and values.
People with practical experience on the ground. So they'll be holding the bureaucracy and me as the Minister accountable, challenging us to get the right things to happen.
The minister saying the new landscape SA reform is putting communities back at the heart of natural resource management.
Is important obviously from environmental reasons, but it's also incredibly important for economic growth and social reasons as well.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Organisers of Broken Hill's Silver City Cup have called off the race for a second year. While the event would likely have gone ahead after lockdown lifted, they say the next few months are too uncertain, but they promise they'll be back bigger and better.
The COVID horse has bolted and the gate has been shut on the real ones.
We've got to make sure the crowds turn up and enjoy themselves, which they always do. Of course, it's a family race day, but it's also the uncertainty whether we're going to have another lockdown.
The Silver City Cup was slated for October, pushed back to November, and has now been postponed to next year. The lockdown would likely have ended by the time the race was run, but it's expected stringent capacity limits will remain. The logistics of border closures also playing a part in the decision.
It's not a new thing, and I hope it'll be the end of it after things occur the next couple of months. We'll just see what happens, but definitely there'll be something in 2022.
Organisers are optimistic the community will be eager to attend, as demonstrated by a successful St Pat's Day in March.
St Pat's and Silver City provides something for the community, provides something for Broken Hill and surrounding areas.
Despite many events cancelling, Broken Hill will be the place to be this time next year. A second bash, the Broken Hill Festival, the show and the races could all be held within a couple of weeks of each other.
And our trainers and owners who are listening out there, don't forget, we will be running in 2022.
Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. Final rehearsals underway for a magical production of Aladdin. And plenty of activities on offer for Whyalla children for the upcoming school holidays. Hello again. Port Pirie Youth Theatre is gearing up for 2 massive performances later this year, with the cast taking to the stage for a popular Disney classic. Co-director Evelyn Demoy says she's excited to see the whole show come together.
A whole new world brought to the stage.
Magical, definitely. Very, very magical.
Port Pirie Youth Theatre putting on 2 big shows this Friday and Saturday night, performing the classic story of Disney's Aladdin.
You know, the street rat who wishes to be something more than he is, finds a magic lamp, gets 3 wishes and then discovers that really what he was before was always enough. Finds love, everyone lives happily ever after.
Aladdin is fun, courageous, kind of does what he wants. I've been doing youth theatre now for 5 years and I thought it was a good opportunity to just take on anything.
This year's cast is made up of 33 members, with some revelling in the experience.
I grew up with Disney and really, really love the magic of Disney and the magic of the stage, so I want to share that with kids and adults alike that come and watch our theatre in Port Pirie.
Well, I used to watch Aladdin at my grandpa's house every time I go there for a sleepover. And so I grew to love that show, and that's what it kind of made it a dream, really, when it was announced that we'd be doing Aladdin.
It will be shining, shimmering and splendid, but you'll want to get in quick and secure your tickets.
It's a magical show and, you know, given that we can't travel far and wide, you'll certainly experience that here during this show.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Community groups in Whyalla have come together to provide school holiday activities for the city's children. The aim for the Whyalla Combined Services program, encouraging students to socialise and be active during the vacation period.
Keeping the little and big ones occupied this coming school holidays. A group of Whyalla Community Services banding together to hold events across the 2 weeks away from the classroom.
We've got a variety of agencies that have come together. Everyone's put on their own events and we've been able to put on a timetable that lasts the whole 2 weeks.
The Whyalla Combined Services, made up of groups and local businesses, providing funding or running activities during the holidays. There will be a variety of things to do, from drama camps, film screenings and even 3-on-3 basketball.
We all pull together and teamwork does make the dream work, and we've been able to think outside the box as well. So we're able to cater for the active kids, the creative kids.
The Whyalla Suicide Prevention Network is one of the groups providing financial support for the event. The activities are a perfect time for families to come together and bond as a unit.
Things like this school holiday program bring everybody together. It's a focus on youth, but it also means that families can come together, stay connected, which also talks to the point of taking care of ourselves.
A full list of events can be found on the Whyalla City Council's Facebook page. Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
It's a much-loved tradition for many Broken Hill families, but there won't be any flying Dr. Puds on the Christmas table this year. The Women's Auxiliary making the very hard decision not to go ahead in what would have been their 65th year of baking. However, locals are encouraged to download a donation from their Facebook page and make a donation to the RFDS instead. Stay with us after the break. Mark Zita will bring us the latest prices at the petrol pump, and we'll have all the weather details with Alex Sykes. See you again soon. Welcome back. Unleaded fuel prices have largely remained steady in the past week, with only 3 regional centres seeing marginal decreases, while Adelaide is near the bottom of their price cycle. With all the details, here's Mark Zita.
We've reached the midpoint of September and unleaded fuel prices are continuing to fall in some areas, so now is the perfect time to fill up and save a few dollars in the process. Starting with unleaded fuel, the average price in Port Augusta has gone down a full cent to $1.52.3, with prices in Port Pirie going down 0.8 of a cent to $1.47.9 per litre. Broken Hill has seen the largest price drop out of all the regional centres, with unleaded falling 1.2 cents to $1.56.9 per litre. Prices have remained steady in Port Lincoln, Whyalla and Kadina. If you're making the trip to Adelaide, you'll pay $1.36.2, that is just at the bottom of the metropolitan price cycle, so get in quick. Moving on to diesel, and price changes haven't been as dramatic as we saw with unleaded fuel. Broken Hill again seeing the biggest drop out of all the regional centres, with fuel at $1.53.6 per litre. Port Augusta saw only a very marginal drop in prices, down 0.2 of a cent to $1.49.1 per litre. Prices in Whyalla increased by 1 point of a cent to $1.49 per litre. It remains steady in Port Lincoln, Port Pirie and Kadina. While in Adelaide, the price has also increased by 1.6 cents to $1.41.6 per litre. Finally, moving over to autogas, and prices have remained relatively steady across the board. Whyalla has seen a price drop to 85.9 cents per litre, and Kadina's prices have gone up to $1.05.9. Adelaide's prices has fallen to 90.7 cents per litre. Remember, these prices are the regional averages and do not reflect one particular outlet. And if you do see unleaded diesel or autogas cheaper, let us know through our Facebook page.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Alex Sykes.
Thanks, Ruby, and good evening, everyone. Well, it was a beautiful spring day across the region today. Mainly cloudy conditions from 3 p.m. Port Lincoln was 16, Port Pirie was 24 and Cooper Pedy reached 28 degrees. Looking further out across the region now, Port Augusta was 24, while at Kadina and Cleve were all 21. Broken Hill was 20, Adelaide was mostly sunny and 17, Woodner reached 25, Clare was 18. Taking a look at the satellite image now, clouds over South Australia's southeast is bringing cool winds, but still remaining dry. A weak trough amid patchy cloud in central and northern parts of the state is not bringing any rain. Clearer skies elsewhere. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Variable winds 10 knots, seas around 1 metre, and south to southwesterly swells 1 metre. And a short time ago there was a marine wind warning current for South Australia. Port Lincoln cloudy and 24, Cleve also partly cloudy and 29, and Woodner mostly sunny to top 31 degrees. Whyalla will reach 29 degrees. Port Augusta mostly sunny and 31, and Kadina will be a top of 27. Port Pirie mostly sunny 30 degrees, Clare will reach 24 and Broken Hill sunny and 25. Taking a look further through the week now, partly cloudy and 29 degrees in Port Pirie and Whyalla on Friday, possible shower in Cooper Pedy 30, Port Augusta will be 30 32, Port Lincoln partly cloudy 22, a shower or 2 in Broken Hill and Adelaide. To the weekend now, showers expected in Port Lincoln, Kadina, Broken Hill and Adelaide on Saturday, mostly sunny in Port Augusta and Cooper Pedy 23, Port Pirie also mostly sunny to reach 21 and it'll be partly cloudy in Whyalla and Woodna. To Sunday now, it'll be sunny in Port Augusta to top 26, Port Pirie and Whyalla will reach 24, Port Lincoln will have a shower or 2 20, Woodna mostly sunny 24, Kadina 21 degrees. So the weekend isn't looking too bad at all, Ruby, and it's nice to be back doing the weather. Glad John didn't get the gig full time. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. It's back to you.
Wonderful, thanks for that, Alex. And that's all local news this Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.